Hello everyone, my name is Rage, and welcome to my synergy. We will pick up on that later, I'm not just, don't worry about it. And this is a facility dedicated to crafting and creating the very best, most interesting synergies in all of Overwatch that make you go, ooh. And of course, we gotta do a little bit more Tech Zero. It's the new kid on the block, you know. It's rocked up to the classic items. Godhead stood there with its divine muscles bulging forth, and it's like, who are you? And Tech Zero's like, yo man, I'm Tech Zero. I'm here to have a great time. And Godhead's like, you may stay. And that's how he became part of the gang. And I think that's very cool. Also, wow, what a ridiculously short floor. That's absolutely insane. But the thing about Tech Zero is, while it is undoubtedly an awesome item, it's actually not that good for synergy. It's not bad, don't get me wrong, there are a lot worse, but initially I'm like, my tears are connected by electricity. This opens up a whole new world, a new fantastic shock to strike, full of electricity, run it straight through me. It's more pleasure than a bike. And I just can't help but shake the feeling that there could be more to this, you know? That there could be more. Well, for now, we're gonna go with this, which admittedly isn't the most cray-cray thing in the world, but don't worry, it will get more and more cray-cray as we go along, which is, you know, kind of the point of the Synergy Lab, a steady increase in cray-crayness relative to the time spent in the lab. I mean, if you were going to graph it, you could graph it very well. It's a nice little ratio. T equals... I don't know maths. Oh, this is what I get for failing maths. But yeah, the reason why murder sounds like happiness, to loop background to that point as we get rid of the haunt there. Did I take damage from a hauntling, or am I going crazy? I feel like I might be going crazy. Ooh, what would this devil deal have been? Not an actual horrible one. Like, genuinely, that would have been fairly apposite. But no, I have an unfortunate happenstance where I happen to live in a place where next door to my place is 3 children, you know, the kids of a family that live there, and, well, that normally wouldn't be too much of a problem. It's starting to become so, because we're getting towards the summer months, and what do kids like to do in the summer months? Run outside and generally just, well, I mean, scream at things. There's no other way to do it, say it. They scream at things, and I don't know why they scream at things. I often harbor a secret suspicion that they can see a whole other world, fabric of reality beyond what we can, and screaming is the way that they completely defend themselves. You know, kind of like a banshee scream, like the waves of force pushing you back. Well, I have a feeling that kids' screams is actually them seeing an evil spirit, and the as they have fun, at least you think it's because they're having fun, is actually them completely saving us from an invasion from the other side. So potentially we should have ourselves a little bit of a thank you for all of the Ghost Defender children out there. But the more likely scenario is obviously the kids that don't have a lot of volume control, and, well, things get screamy, which is bad for me because I have to sit here recording and stuff. You don't hear it because the mic's good at not picking it up, but, like, I'm sat here, you know, chilling, we're having a Synergy Lab in, and outside there's just 3 kids playing on, like, a climbing frame, just, like, I don't understand. It literally sounds like murder. Now, granted, I don't claim to know what murder sounds like, I just do. So, it's maybe a little bit off, but you know what I'm saying, the classic child scream, like if it was a documentary, and here we see the child in its natural habitat, screaming and screaming, fighting ghosts upon ghosts. Oh, how we owe our lives to them. Oh, how we do. This floor, we're going to grab ourselves 2 little worms. Now, right now, there's not a lot going on. It's just a nice little explosion. We got booger tears. You know, there's nothing too crazy. Well, Well, we'll do this floor and then we'll start ramping up a little bit. Because it is a synergy that's, you're going to appreciate it more if it suddenly comes to be, you know, if it suddenly forms out of nowhere. That's kind of what we want here. And I just don't get it. A part of me thinks, you know, like in Toy Story when the toys move when you don't look at them. Part of me thinks that when no one is observing a child that is playing with another child, they are actually fighting each other to the death. Like, you can't see in the room, one of them's got the other by the throat, they're strangling. But the thing is, they're immortal and immune to damage, so they don't realize anything wrong with it. They're stabbing each other, they're firing flames out of their mouths, just generally having a brutal fight that to us is like, holy shit, but to them it's just like, haha! But obviously this means that they're screaming in what they think is just enjoyment, but actually it turns out that it's pain, and as soon as you look, then boom, they just suddenly stop, all their wounds instantly heal because they don't feel any of this pain. They're immortal, ghost-killing, like, spiritual saviors, and they quickly let go of each other's necks. They go back to pretending to do what they do, and you're like, huh, I wonder what all the noise is about. Then you look away, and then they start murdering each other again. Now, maybe I'm a little bit off base here, but I cannot describe to you that next door's children sound like they are being strangled to death. Well, not strangled to death. You can't scream while you're being strangled, but they do sound like they are being chased by a madman with a knife. It's really quite ridiculous, and I just want to know why. I want to know why. A part of me wants to lean out my window and go, can you stop being murdered? But I don't think next door will appreciate me yelling that at their children. I have to restrain myself every now and then. In fact, the other day I got home, and because I was out, I know it was a rare opportunity where I was actually out. And yes, look at this, by the way. Is that not awesome? Just this spiral of electricity. It works really freaking well with the Ludo technique. It seriously does. And we do have to take Tiny Planet for a reason that will become more and more apparent as we continue on, yes, indeed. But I got home from being out and saw them playing, because it's kind of like a shared garden. I mean, it's not specifically shared, there's just no wall in between, so you can quite clearly see into next door's garden. And basically, I started walking down to see what the hell was going on, but I forgot that really at the time I was kind of, you know, very much deep in thought. I was thinking about videos, thinking about plans, thinking about all some such shenanigans, and I had quite this, you know, let's just call it Terminator look on my face. But I was curious, so all deep in thought like this, kind of staring straight ahead like I was really focused, I very sort of determinedly power walked down the slope towards the garden, straight in a direction of where they were playing, because I kind of wanted to know what was going on. I was like, why do you need to murder each other to have fun? Why do you need the murder? And as I was about to come into their line of view, one of their parents was just there watching them, obviously, and they kind of looked at me, and I have this moment of, hang on a fucking minute, I look like a psychopath right now, just purposely striding down towards them with this thunderous look on my face as I'm deep in thought, and I kind of met eyes with them, and they kind of just sort of like had a what are you doing expression on their face, and I just, without really considering it, because yes, I may have panicked, I just straight up did a 90-degree turn and just veered off left on the spot like a spin. I started walking towards the back door, which I realized I don't have a key for, so I awkwardly had to turn back around and walk past them. Now, maybe I shouldn't have been so self-conscious, you know, because not like I was actually going to do anything. I just wanted to see what game they were playing that they needed to banshee shriek each other. I was genuinely curious, because I don't remember I ever playing something like that. But, you know, when somebody looks at you like that when you're striding towards children, it's the kind of world we live in that you get self-conscious. And I don't think I helped, because I just gave the impression of, oh shit, they saw me. God damn. I don't think they trust me anymore to next door. But either way, kids playing sounds like they're being murdered. That's the moral of the story. So, we got a lot of upgrades to acquire. Now we are here on Depths 2. We are going to get ourselves a compound fracture. Yes, indeed. We're also going to get ourselves a little bit of euthanasia. We got a little bit of extra lightning. Yes, we did. We're also going to lost contact it up. And then the main deal that we do need to acquire. And by the way, Look at this go. Is that not awesome? It looks like an actual electricity turbine. Like it's actually generating power as it spins round. And again, it is necessary. I'm sorry, but it is necessary. So what we need to do is absorb all of the power. Look at this. Is that not awesome? Look at it go. I mean, it's freaking huge, don't get me wrong, and it spirals electricity all through the room, and yeah, it's a little bit too large to be comfortable. It does need to be a little bit smaller, but I at least wanted to show you that. But obviously, this means we're going to have to reduce its size via the application of soy milk, and we have a much more reasonable set of spinning bones. You see? Much more reasonable. So, let's continue on. And now, we have this awesome situation where it generates extra particles that then continue to spin round and end up in this really cool formation. But the thing is, if we add it a little bit further, and you got to remember we have a lot of luck now, so the Bucketeers, the Euthanasia, that's going to be doing a lot, but if we add rubber cement, it actually changes into quite the interesting little outcome here, because if we do that, they kind of just sit against the wall and sort of form this pattern, you see, like they just kind of collapse against the wall and just sort of chill. But the main reason, hey, there we go, you see, it's just kind of hovering near the wall, it's not going through, and it just keeps going on. It's fantastic, it really is. Look at that go. Oh, so many electric bones. But the real reason for this being a cool Tech Zero synergy, more than just the electricity turbine rotating everywhere, is how it interacts with things that don't die instantly to it touching them. And you will see that in just a moment. Yes, indeed. At least you hopefully will once we actually get to the boss. But I didn't want to go too mental today. I mean, I like it. There's a lot of electricity going on, and it is very, very nice. But we've not used Fracture in a lot of synergies, honestly, and I just wanted a really nice way to add a spinny effect, like it's actually being generated for once. And we had a little bit of a glimpse. You see how some bones spin and some bones rotate? That's a biology lesson for you right there. And oh, didn't quite have it. I guess Mum is just not powerful enough to manage this, but that's fine. Can we have it going on in here? That's the question. Because basically we have a kind of synergy that can actually completely break out and bug. And we got, nearly. We had a little bit there. Once we get to the Hush and Delirium. Oh no, look, there we have it. We've got a little bit. So what this does is every now and then, because of the stickiness of the boogers, which again is a sentence and a half, you just get them permanently frozen in the air, which means they are just permanently attaching electricity to where the main host is, which obviously just ends up being really, really cool. Now, you can go a little bit too far and end up breaking the electricity chain, but I really, really love this. Oh yeah, look, we've created another one, and obviously as the room keeps going on, as it lasts longer and longer, yep, there we go, we get even more of them. Oh, there's one down there as well, and we just have this permanent chain of electric bonage, and that was a sentence and a half, and it's just fantastic. It really is. Oh, have we already killed them all? I don't think we have. That's fine. Looking pretty damn good. I am excited to see how the Hush does interact with this. We've just got a giant pulsing bone that I can't control. That was, again, something I really need to think about before actually saying anything. But what I will do real quick is a slight jump cut that, honestly, you wouldn't have even noticed if I hadn't said anything. Alrighty, we returned. Yes, we do indeed, and you may or not be experiencing my full naked steam, but that is fine, and the reason for that is I wanted to have the darkness working, just so you could see. It's nothing crazy, but it does glow very nicely in the gloom, and honestly, I think this is definitely one of the best ways to have the Tech Zero interacting, outside of anti-gravity, but we saw that a little bit last week. But the thing is, it does work best in a circle, which kind of makes sense, because, you know, electricity and circles, they totally go together completely, 100%. That is that is how that is a thing. I don't care what you're talking about. There is definitely circles. You know what I've been finding very amusing recently is insects. Oh, look at that one. That was glorious. I kind of like how my voice went there. Glorious. I mean, it was glorious. There's no two ways about it. There's 4 ways about it. But recently I've been thinking, aren't insects really silly? Now, obviously, it's kind of like, well, I mean, duh, they're insects. But then again, that just feels like insultive to insects, right? But no, obviously, humans like to apply their own intelligence standards to other creatures as a way to try and identify what it is that they're doing. By the way, I keep damaging myself with this synergy. That's how supremely powerful it is. In fact, since we're on this, I probably should actually go get a little bit of health, because there is a good chance I might die. And we like to apply our own intelligence standards to other creatures, and obviously that makes them quite stupid looking, despite them being relatively intelligent in their own rights. Where insects, they're basically just pure, I guess that will do. Sorry, I just, you gotta decide here, do you want some super pajamas? Do you want an old bandage? Granted, that's actually not much of a choice. If someone offered me super pajamas, I won't even question it. Damn fucking right I want super pajamas. Yes, I do. And imagine trying to salesman an item in Isaac. That would be fantastic. But yeah, they're basically creatures of pure instinct, Like, for example, the hoppers, which I feed a lot of my reptiles. They're just little locusts, and if something gets too near to them, if they feel a disturbance in the insect force, then they hop away and hope that the new area they've landed in is safe, and so on and so forth. They eat, they reproduce, safe in the knowledge that there is millions of them, so if any one individual dies, I liked Gary, but there's plenty of Garys, that kind of situation you got set up, and that's fine, it works as a species, but obviously that means that I get into some quite amusing situations with them in relation to my lizards. For example, I was feeding one of them earlier, I was feeding a hopper, and I'll continue this after we've had a little bit. Oh, that wasn't bad. Oh, what is even happening? What? What is going on? Holy shit, that was so much lightning. Like, what? Look at that. And then it... I love that I have just essentially created a broken synergy. That is beautiful. But yeah, I was feeding one of them earlier, and every now and then you get an escapee, because they just hop away and you can't grab them in time. Which is fine, of course, but they hopped away and landed on my bed, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to sleep with no goddamn locust, which I think is a reasonable statement. So I went to go try and pick it up. It sensed my hand near it, and it hopped, and it landed sort of roughly just above my elbow. And I'm like, okay, I mean, jumping towards the thing that's trying to feed you to another thing. Alright, good going so far. So I went to move my elbow, it hopped again, it landed on my shoulder, and I'm like, alright, look, I don't mind these bugs, but at the same time, I'd still rather it not be on my shoulder, So I went and moved my hand up to try and get it, it hopped again, and managed to land on my opposite hand, and I'm like, well, that's convenient, that's fantastic, I don't know what you're doing here. Oh, we already got delirium, I'm excited. I don't know what you're doing, but you're doing it, and ooh, the sudden flash of light. My lightning bones are attached and pulsating as he teleports. That's fantastic. Yes, keep going. I actually might die here. That would be kind of embarrassing. Oh, I did, because the lightning damages myself because it's that broken. Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So I'm happy that the hopper is on my hand, and then I go to grab it again, and then it does one final jump, clears the gap between my bed and the vivarium where the lizard lives, lands in the vivarium, and I'm like, are you fucking serious? Just in time to see the lizard devour it. So in its grand escape, it managed to hop all the way back to its death and offer itself as food. And I just thought, wow, sucks to be an insect. And that's the moral of today's Synergy Lab, really. Like, if you enjoyed this, everyone, subscribe for more, and I will see you next time. Delirium, stop staring at me. That's kind of freaky, actually. Goodbye.